Reshut your father.
Okay, Reshut Harab, Reshut my father, who's joining me here today, Reshut Yeshiva Etzion. Right now we are in Moed Katan, Siyum, Moed Katan. Katan, thank you so much for everything, to the Rav, to my parents, to everybody who helped me get through this point. Hashem, we're going to continue to keep doing this with the next Gemara, Hagiga, so we'll see you soon. Amen. But right now, let's deal with Moed Katan that we have in front of us. So, I was thinking a lot about what I can say about this particular track, this Masakit, and we know that in Moed Katan is dealing with the minor festivals, the intermediate days, as it said, the whole Moed, mainly between Sukkot and Pesach. And in that also track, the third chapter deals with the laws of Avilut, mourning. So I asked myself, why would they put Avilut in that particular Masakit? And well, first reason would be is if Avilut was its own Masakit, no one would really want to read that. I mean, people would not look into that because no one wants to learn about mourning. If there's a fear that Chas v'Shalom, they say that some people are so scared to learn it because there's a fear that, well, Chas v'Shalom, if I learn it, I'm going to have to practice it soon. So they'll probably deal with that later in life. But, you know, we have to understand it is Torah, and B'ezrat Hashem, if we come with it, from a Torah perspective and learn its halachot, then B'ezrat Hashem will live longer and not the opposite. So let's understand that. But still, why is it in here? There has to be a deeper meaning. So I was looking through and I found an interesting article by Rabbi David Shevkin. He's the director of education at NCSY, and he brought something down interesting. Well, he says Hol means mundane, holiday, and it is a study of intermediacy. Hol HaMoed is all about intermediacy. It's a different stage. He says this, why is Hol HaMoed even necessary? Why? Because we have Yom Tov. It is a high stage of the holiday. So why even have Hol HaMoed? You just have Yom Tov, and then after Yom Tov ends, go back to regular days. So why don't we just have a week-long formal Yom Tov and just take the time to relax and rest for 7 solid days? And he says, I think Jewish holidays were structured deliberately so because the feeling of being in between is a necessary bridge that allows people to better integrate the world they left and the world they're going toward. Without intermediate days, Yom Tov would feel more like a monetary disruption in our schedule. Without an in-between stage, we would never learn to integrate the ordinary with the holy. Basically, Hol HaMoed is about learning how to integrate the holiness into the mundane. That's all. That's our whole point in this life. Purpose is to bring holiness to the mundane, and Hol HaMoed gives us that chance. It's to go from Yom Tov and then straight to a regular day, and then maybe Yom Tov regularly to Yom Tov. It's such a fast transition that it would be hard on us to really sink it all in. I mean, we do this in everything, in our prayers. We know it's before we do Amidah, which is the highest form, we Pesach Birkat HaShachar, Pesach Dizera, and it takes us all the way up. And then after we do Amidah, we slowly come down. We don't just go straight up and then down. We need a ladder to slowly bring us up to holiness. So in a way, that's what Hol HaMoed is for, to do. It's to slowly transition to us, and hopefully we could bring in that holiness that we've enjoyed into our regular days. So what does this have to do with Avilut? So the whole, in a way, before I even go into that, let me just bring up one interesting point. He brings up, the Rabbi David Shevkin, he brings up Arnold van Gennep. He was an anthropographer. He was a anthropologist who dealt with the studies of human culture, and he wrote in his rites of passage, he dealt with a concept called liminality, and let me read you the definition of that. Liminality is a state of transition between one stage and the next, especially between the major stages in one's life or during a rite of passage. Now, this could be a very broad stage because there's so many things, when we transition from childhood to adulthood and everything that's in between. But basically, as we see in Moed Katan, you transition from Chol Moed, and then in the 3rd chapter, death. Mourning, really. So how do we understand this? So it could be, what it's really teaching us is that this is the whole aspect of life. The whole transition from good things to, from life to death. And we need to understand that, bringing that to ourselves, because, we're not going to live here forever. And we need to understand that just as we are happy and we say, oh, Hashem, thank you, Baruch Hashem, we also are going to one day say, Baruch Dayan Hamet, right? We say, Gamzu Latova. Just as we have that understanding of, I accept everything that God gave me, all the good. I have to accept everything that God gave me for everything unfortunate. So that's why we have Avelut in Moed Katan. We have to bring in that understanding that just as much as we have good things in our life, we'll one day unfortunately approach that time where we will start to lose our possessions and our loved ones, and slowly find a way to understand what our life was all about, and hopefully live it in a Torah-oriented way, and leave this world with our neshamas ready to go on to the next world. So that's why I believe Avelut was in this tracket, because they wanted to show us that's the whole life. Life is one intermediate stage from this world to the next world. So with that, I'd like to say thank you to my Rav, my parents, to all my friends who always try to help me. They are there for me, who want to help me live the best life I can, and I really appreciate it. And I'd like to shout out to Ehud Gaon, who encouraged me to learn the daf. He told me it's not about the daf, it's about the yomi, so I really appreciate it. Ehud, thank you so much for that, push. You're a good guy, and hope only good things for you. All right.